Hi, you guys. We are live. And today I'm really, really excited because we are going live with someone who I have to tell you, I'm a little nervous to speak with him because I'm such a fan. We're going live with Bob Harper, who's an incredible celebrity trainer. You guys know Bob from The Biggest Loser, and he very famously survived a heart attack at the age of 51. Hi, Evie. And he was working out when he had his heart attack. So we are going to talk to him today all about that and all about heart health and how his outlook on heart health has completely changed since he had his heart attack. As you guys know, per usual, I'm wearing one of our mantra shirts. It has our mantra on there. You're never too young. It's never too late. Because at the Heart Foundation, we believe that while you are never too young and it is never too late to be affected by heart disease, you're also never too young and it's never too late to start living a more heart-healthy lifestyle. I'm so happy that you guys are all joining me. Feel free to leave some comments and ask some questions for Bob. A lot of you sent me some DMs asking me some questions. So we are ready. We are ready and waiting to hit him with some questions all about heart health, all about his journey with heart health, about his family history, about his recovery from having a heart attack. I can't wait to talk with him. So he should be jumping on here any moment. He just posted about us on his story. Hi guys. I'm so excited. We've had such an incredible time these past couple months connecting with some really inspirational and amazing people on Instagram. We've done some live conversations with, obviously now we're doing Bob Harper. We did Jamie Foxx. We talked with Willa Ford. We talked with Ramin Karimloo. We talked with Bert Kreischer, all about heart health. So I'm so happy that you guys are here along for the ride with me. Let's see here. It is so fun to have you guys all on here. Awesome, awesome. Cool, so Bob should be joining us any moment. And like I said, feel free to drop any questions that you might have, any comments that you might have. Hit that heart, hit that like. Thanks, Laura. I love doing these interviews. It's so fun to not only be able to connect with people who are incredibly well known. Like I said, I just listed off a whole bunch of celebrities who you guys know who they are. But then I also get to talk to people who are also just experiencing heart disease in real time. You guys have seen me talk with Alyssa. Alyssa is in her 20s, super young girl. She has tachycardia. She battles heart disease every single day. You've seen me talk with Amy. Amy is my age, I believe. She's 30 and has been diagnosed with heart disease since she was 12. Last week, we spoke with Kevin Kimbrell, who was a friend of mine from college. I haven't spoken to him in 10 years. He reached out to me. I didn't even know when we were in school together, he had a heart attack at the age of 21. So we've really been able to connect with some incredible people and hear some really amazing stories during this time of quarantine when we are all so far apart and it's so hard to stay connected to each other. I'm so grateful that we are able to connect virtually, not only with people who obviously have large audiences, but people who are also just living every single day battling heart disease. Hi, Kristen. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy that you guys are all here. Bob's gonna be jumping on any second. And we're gonna get this interview rocking. I cannot wait to speak with him. I hope you guys are all enjoying your week. I hope that you guys are all staying healthy and safe and sane and positive. Hi, Bob. Here he is. Whoop. Sorry, I just flipped ya. Let me find him. Bob.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm so great. It's so lovely to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too.
There we go. Happy Wednesday. I'm so grateful that you were able to jump on here with us. Are you
I know,
in
me
New York or are you
too.
in LA?
Me too. Oh, my dog's barking.
That's okay. I have two of them. It's okay.
I'll put these in. Hold on. Oh my God, look at your beautiful hair.
Oh, it's a little crazy, isn't it? I know.
It's great.
Thanks.
And you're friends with Kristen, huh?
I am. Yes. Oh my my gosh, it's so great. I actually met Kristen years ago when I worked in a restaurant, and she was one of my regulars. I mean, how can you not fall in love with that girl? She's just the most kind. Um, and so I started working for the Heart Foundation a little over a year ago, and I've been interviewing influential people and people who have heart disease stories, obviously. Kristen
Hmm.
saw a couple of my interviews and she reached out to me, and I'm so grateful that she put me in contact with you.
Yeah, and I also, so I was looking at your, reading your story, and so it was dedicated to someone that died of a widowmaker at 35.
Well, he didn't have a quote unquote widowmaker, but yeah, heart attack at 35, playing basketball with his friends. And very similar to you in that he was young, healthy, went to the doctor, had just gotten a physical,
Uh-huh.
like within the past month, and had no symptoms. And out of the blue.
35. That is
Uh,
so young.
yeah, incredibly, incredibly young. And so from that moment forward, all of his friends and family, gathered together to create the Heart Foundation to spread awareness, because at that age, at 35, you're not thinking about your heart health. You're
No.
not thinking about, I don't know. I feel like you're not. You're thinking that you're Superman. You're untouchable. You're young. You're healthy. You're active. You're fine. You don't need to go to the doctor. So it was definitely a shocker for them, and so that's why they created the Heart Foundation to help
Y- y-
prevent that to happening for anybody else.
Yeah, that was one thing. I've learned so many things since my heart attack, but one I remember before, yeah, of course, having that feeling of being invincible and not ever thinking I would ever have a heart attack. And then uh, I had an idea of what someone at risk of a heart attack looked like, and that was someone that was overweight, that smoked, that lived an unhealthy lifestyle. And what I have learned is that all of us, every person you see, we're all at risk of having a heart attack, and how important it is to know your health really from the inside out, and to really not judge a book by its cover. It's like, because I was in some of the best shape of my life. I
Sure.
felt I looked good, I felt good, and unbeknownst to me, I woke up in a hospital, after being in a coma for 2 days, being told that not only did I have a heart attack, but I'd gone into cardiac arrest.
Right. I think that's a great point. I mean, we live in the age of, we live in such a digital driven age where everybody is a little obsessed with image.
Yeah.
And while we are thankfully moving toward body positivity and accepting all different types of bodies, I think that most people saw thin, muscular, and they immediately think healthy. And
Right.
they see maybe heavy set or overweight or someone who they think might not be as active as being unhealthy. So that's a great point that you just made, that everyone is susceptible, everyone is at risk.
Yeah, and you gotta know if you're genetically predisposed. You have to know you know what's going on inside of your body, and how important it is to have that type of relationship with your doctors. That the questions to ask, even if you don't know the questions, they're going to be the ones that guide you, and you're going to have that relationship with them. I mean, having a strong relationship with your healthcare providers is so important.
I agree.
I think I've learned, because I've learned so much, and I go around talking to fellow heart attack survivors around the country, and the people that have taken care of them through that really difficult time, and it's so important, and I really think it bears talking about for a minute, the journey that the caretakers, be it their husband, their wife, their partner, whoever it was that has guided them through that really difficult time, what they went through, and really validating that, because when you've survived a heart attack, it's so much about uh, how you are in the physical. Everyone wants to know, make sure that you're getting healthy again, and it's those people that help you. They have their own journey that they go through, and it's really heartfelt.
I think that while being the person who has a heart attack has to just be, I mean, that's an experience that I can't even think can compare to anything else. But to be on the outside of it and watch someone who you care about so much go from their 100% version of themselves to 30% of themselves, it's just a totally different type of experience that deserves so much attention and so much appreciation.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
I think also, when you talk to fellow heart attack survivors, where everyone is so concerned of the physical, as they should be, it's that emotional journey that we all go through that you aren't really, maybe some people aren't that aware of. It's like, I was the fitness guy. I was the guy that was in the gym every single day, and I was taking care of myself. And the gym was the place that was my safe space. It was the place that I worked out with my friends. It was very community driven, and all of a sudden that was the same place that I dropped dead, and it was a really scary place for me to go back to and kind of build a new relationship with fitness and build a new relationship with myself in a completely different way. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. That was actually going to be something I was going to ask you was how do you feel like that changed your opinion of working out, or even just your outlook on working out? Because like Bob, I remember watching you on Biggest Loser and you just went hard all the time. Like
Yeah.
you were known for being intense, for the level of intensity that you would bring to the table. So how did that change after your heart attack?
It changed a lot. I had to go through a lot of growing pains. I was really lucky because of the people that I surrounded myself with. I was scared. I was scared to go back to the gym. I was scared to get my heart rate back up. I was, I was living in fear, and that was giving me, that was giving me anxiety. That was giving me it was PTSD.
Yeah.
I was in that gym, and one of my really good friends, his name is Sean. He was there with me that day when I had my heart attack, and when I started going back into the gym many months later, we decided that we would just kind of work out together, still in this place, but just in a very controlled environment, and that really helped me kind of start to trust myself again and trust my body again, because once my heart rate started going up, I was just like, I'm gonna have another heart attack. I don't want to do that. And of course, it just took time, and I was really excited that I was able to go through my cardiac rehab. And that's another thing I tell so many people, how important rehab was for me and for other heart attack survivors, because it's a whole new world for us. And to go into the gym, and which is crazy, Hannah, listen to this. I went from doing these intense CrossFit workouts. Like you said, I'm a very intense person, and I love to work out hard. I went from that to going to a gym and walking on a treadmill at 3.0, riding an elliptical, riding a recumbent bike, these things. And let me tell you, it was very humbling.
And it was hard, right? Did you feel like those things were challenging still?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
It was really hard. And, but you're all strapped up in, all of your devices. You can see where your heart rate is. The doctors and the PTs can see, what's going on with you the whole time. And it was just like, okay, I could get my heart rate at one point. I think at the very beginning it was, maybe around 110. And which is, anybody that works out that knows their heart rate, I mean, 110 is not that high at all.
Right.
And but let me tell you, they said I could get to that point, and I was in that controlled environment, and I was like, I'm a really good student. I'm a really good teacher, and I'm a really good student. So it's like, I think it's really important to know when to kind of relinquish your control. And talk about like a big message. I have always been what I like to say, a control enthusiast. Some would say control freak. And to be able to relinquish that control was something that ended up in the long run being something that's been very beneficial for me.
I think I mean, okay, first of all, I want to go back for just 1 second and
Mm-hmm.
just because even though this is 100% your personality, I really hope that you commend yourself for going back to the gym. Because so many people, if they were in the middle of doing the thing that they love most, the thing that they identify with most, and then they had it taken away from them, they probably wouldn't go back.
Yeah, it was,
They would let it scare them and let it and just say, I can't do this anymore. So the fact that you went back, and you went back when you were scared out of your mind,
yep.
and then you took the baby steps that it took. You did the rehab that it took. You did the 3.0 on the treadmill. I think that takes so much bravery and courage. So I just want to make sure that you like recognize that about yourself, because that's insane to me. That is so cool. I can't imagine having the scariest thing in the world happen to me in my safe space.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it was, Hannah. It
Yeah.
was my safe space. Oh my God, you're gonna make me cry. But I mean, that's what it was. You get it,
Right.
And it was like that. If you ever saw the movie, What About Bob? There was a line in it of like, baby steps to the elevator, baby steps, just baby steps to the elevator. Just take those little steps, to just get you there. And it was very humbling, but I'm like, I was really glad that I did it because it's important. And I would tell this to anyone listening that even have never had a heart attack, to just like not live in the fear.
Right.
That not living in, if fear is holding you back from whatever that is, to be able to face that fear so you can move forward, because it's very important.
Right. And to just, I think the worst feeling anyway, just for me from experience with regular life stuff, is not running away from the fear, not running toward the fear, but sitting in the fear.
Yeah.
There is nothing worse than sitting in that fear. It
It's
just
the
psychs you
worst.
out more than anything.
It's the worst. And it's like, and I know that like there's these type of therapy things of like things that you're afraid of, like that you can overcome. Like I'm really afraid of snakes, right? Definitely afraid of snakes. But like being afraid of snakes doesn't hold me back from my career. So it's like, I don't have that desire to be like, I'm going to go like,
I
face
really
my
need to go
fears with
hold a
snakes
snake
and be like Britney Spears with a big snake around me. And like, I'm like, no, but like, I am going to face the fear of like, being afraid to go back into a gym.
Yes.
And I'm really glad that I did. I've changed the way that I work out. I've redefined working out for me, and I'm okay with that. And that was hard in the beginning because I wanted to just go back to the way it was. That's what I wanted. I was like, let me go back. And since working with other heart attack survivors and now hearing them say that of like going back to the way it was, it's like, it's not that important to me to go back to the way it was. It's never going to be the way it was. It's going to be a new version of it. And you know what? It's okay to like forgive that, move on from that, and again, not let that hold you back.
When you say that you changed the way that you approach working out, what's different for you now?
Well, I don't have that desire to just push myself to those crazy extremes of just like, oh my God, these workouts that just make you fall to the ground and, just hang on for dear life. It's like, I don't need to do that anymore. And that's okay. But I like to push myself. I do hot yoga. I do this like, it's like this old style of yoga that you're in a room that's like 110 115 degrees, and it's like you're doing the same 26 postures every single time. And I think that there's something to be said about doing the same type of workout every time, because it forces you to be in the moment and not have to be like not needing bells and whistles. And
it's
like
just that other level of mindfulness.
That's right. It is a meditation, an eye-open meditation that is really intense. And it's like 90 minutes on your mat, sweating your ass off. That is very extreme, and I like that. I still like to do. I have a little a garage here that I'll do like some CrossFit style workouts. I still like to do that. I like to mix it up, but like hot yoga is definitely my thing, and it's like
Right.
I once the quarantine happened, when the world
Changed
came to an
everything.
end on March 12th or 13th,
Uh,
living in New York, I was like, I need a Peloton bike immediately, and like
get a bike.
I've been using that Peloton bike. I love that thing.
I'm actually really good friends with Tunde.
I love her.
Me too. She's
I
great.
love Tunde. I love Robin. I love Cody. I just did an interview with Cody recently. Yeah, they're
It's,
great.
I mean, I'm actually a cycling instructor, so I am all
Oh,
about being on a bike all the time. I have one here. I absolutely love it. I teach virtually from home, which is so fun.
that's awesome.
And it's just a great way to like you said, it's simple. It's like your bike and that's it. And like you with your yoga, it's you and your mat and that's it. I
That's
love
it.
that.
Yeah.
So wait, you had, I would say, the most fatal type of heart attack. You had a widowmaker.
I did.
You were at the gym,
I
and
was.
I think it's like a 5 or 6% survival rate for a
Yep.
widowmaker, right?
It's around 5%. And a lot of people, and this is another thing that everyone that's listening should really listen to what we're talking about,
Mm-hmm.
because so many people thought, oh, well, you recovered from your heart attack because you were in such good health. I was like, no, I recovered from that heart attack because thank God, I had a doctor that was in the gym that I went down, that, the people around me were quick to call 911. They knew CPR. There was an AED in this place, and that's why I recovered. It was the persistence of, especially this one doctor, that he was just like, my heart wasn't, the AEDs weren't working because my heart had stopped. I'd gone into cardiac arrest. And so AEDs don't go off unless there's some sort
Unless
of,
there's a little bit of a heartbeat.
unless there's a little bit of a heartbeat. And
Yeah.
so I remember him just saying, I saw Bob Harper laying on his back. I had already turned blue. And he said, I was just going to do everything in my power. And he just kept going and going and going. And thank God he had that persistence. And it's like how important it is for everyone listening to us to make sure I don't care what you do for a living, you need to be CPR certified. I
Yes.
also want people to know that you should not be afraid to use an AED because they're thinking, oh my God, am I going to hurt this person? You know what? That person is dead on the ground. He or she needs your help. Like nothing you can do. And it's like I I'm glad that I know what I know now, because anybody that drops around me from a
Mm-hmm.
heart attack, they're gonna wake up out of that heart attack hopefully with cracked ribs, because I will go
Because
in
you're
there.
gonna be
I will be like this. Sorry, I broke your sternum, but you're alive to talk about it. That's important. It wasn't because I was healthy. If he wouldn't have been there for me, I would have had my six pack laying in a casket.
right. So tell me this: you certified personal trainer,
Yep.
and as a certified personal trainer, you have to be certified in CPR.
Yep.
So if that day, if you had been in the gym and you had seen someone else gone down, do you think that you would have felt confident enough to administer CPR?
Yes, of course. I think that, like, again, you talk about me being intense, which I'm
Yes.
very intense, and any of my friends that are that are listening to me right now, they know of my intensity, and that's how I am. I would take charge.
Right.
I do this thing, and I haven't done it as much, but since my heart attack, I've always taken an assessment of, like, if I'm in a room, like doing my yoga, I'll look around and I will, like, kind of quietly in my mind think, who's the person that would step up? Because
Yeah.
it's scary. And I get that people can get afraid, or they're like, am I doing this right? I mean, as long as you are compressing that chest as hard as you can, even if you don't know CPR, if you, like, which I want you to, but it's like, if no one's around, get down there and just start pounding on that chest and singing,
Mm-hmm.
like, what was
Staying
the song?
alive.
Staying alive. Staying
Yes.
alive. Staying alive. And you just keep going. And people are like, when do I stop? And I'm like, you stop when the paramedics get there, because you
And they
better
can
call
take over.
911, because that's the first thing, right?
Right.
Call 911. So
And
that's,
I would also say that if anyone watching, if you have taken a CPR course, stay up on getting it renewed.
yeah,
I've been CPR certified for the past, I think like 15 years. So I've gotten certified over 7 times. Every single time that I get certified, I think I'm really happy they're going over this part again. Or, oh, I forgot about that one little thing. It's a refresher constantly.
yep.
And techniques change. There are more efficient and quick ways to do things. So just stay up on it.
Yeah.
It's something that everybody should 100% know how to do and feel confident doing it.
Because I think right now the compressions are 30 and 2 breaths.
That's right.
I'm like 30 and 2. But like, don't even like, again, it's just like, just keep pounding on that chest until the paramedics get there with their, with all their,
because they know what to do. It is like, machine work for them. They know
that's
what
right.
to do.
That's right.
So before we end our little conversation, tell
Which
me
I've enjoyed very much, by the way.
I know, right? It's so
Yeah.
nice. If you could give a piece of advice to your pre-heart attack self, what would it be?
I think if I was going to give advice to my pre-heart attack self, I would say something that has been so important to me now. It's like, don't get so twisted. Don't get so twisted over these things that are out of your control. These things that don't really matter. It's like, don't sweat the big things. Don't sweat the small things. It's like, as long as you are trying to do good in this world, as long as you have love in your heart and love around you, you know what? Everything else will work out. And I, for the longest time, just always needed everything to be just right. It's like I needed things to be as perfect could be. And now I'm just like, without cussing, I'm like, F perfect. It's like it doesn't matter. It's like, just help people, be kind, and just don't sweat all that stuff that you think is important, because it's not. It's not
Well,
important.
imperfection is so much more interesting, isn't it?
Oh, I think
Way more fun and just more
yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, normal is boring, right? It's like
Normal is boring.
normal is boring.
Bob, I am so grateful that you joined me on here today. Thank you so much for joining the Heart Foundation, for helping us spread awareness of heart disease, especially during a time when a lot of people's health focus is elsewhere, which I get it. Heart disease is still the #1 cause of death for men and women
Yep.
across the United States.
And if I could say one more thing to
Yes.
everyone listening to us, because I just shot a PSA that's going to be coming out really soon, and I think that we live in such uncertain times, and people that are at risk of having a heart attack are afraid. They're afraid to go to the hospital. It's like, I cannot stress enough. If you start feeling like something is wrong with you physically and you think you're having a heart attack, call 911. Call 911. It is super, super important. I want you to be around. I want you to come out on the other side of this. And if something feels right, it's that gut. And we all have that gut. It's like God talking to you. It's like, if you know something's up, then something is up. And don't just think that it's going to go away and I'll be fine. So I just beg people, call 911.
You're absolutely right. There have been multiple studies that have come out since COVID-19 has been in the United States, and there has been between a 40 and 60% decrease in patients coming in for heart attacks.
That's right.
Because they're afraid to come in.
They're afraid. Don't be afraid. You be afraid. Be afraid as you dial 911. You can be afraid.
I like
be
that.
Afraid. Be afraid and call 911.
I love that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm so grateful for you. I'm so grateful that you are alive and healthy and just kicking butt.
Can I get an amen?
Bob, thank you so much. I hope that I get to meet you in person.
I know. I hope so too.
Right?
Thank you so much, and keep doing the good fight. Keep fighting the good fight.
Thank you. So you guys, everyone who's watching, this will be saved on the Heart Foundation Instagram page. Again, Bob, thank you so much. And our mantra, I don't know if you heard me say it earlier, Bob, is you're never too young, it's never too late, because we believe that while you're never too young and it's never late to be affected by heart disease, you're also never too young and it's never too late to start living a more heart healthy lifestyle. So that is what we believe.
Oh my
And
God.
we actually have
I immediately just love
we have
you. Like,
little mantra shirts. I'm gonna send you a mantra shirt so you can have one and um,
uh,
spread some positivity while you're wearing your mask and no one
that's
can tell who
right.
you are.
Wear
You
your
know,
mask. Call 911 if you feel like you're having a heart attack.
exactly.
Okay.
Thanks, Bob. You take
Thank
care.
you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.